High School marching band and the Pink Panther theme here at C.W. Lewis Stadium in Benton. The Benton Panthers will be kicking off from the right side of your radio dial, which is north, and the Fort Smith Northside Grizzlies receiving here in the first half from the left side or south end. And now with a play-by-play of the night's playoff ball game, here's Steve Sullivan.
Oh, thank you, Bob. And what a crowd, what a turnout for this playoff game. If they went by numbers, we should stop now and give this ball game to Benton, Jeffrey. They came out to support the Panthers, greeted by our Homer Hankies coming in the building. And I'd like to thank the people of Benton. There was a chance I wasn't going to be able to do the ball game tonight, and one I didn't want to miss, and truthfully probably would have done if they didn't let me do it anyway. But they came through, and they're probably the reason I'm doing it tonight.
Oh, that's good. And Bob and I talked a lot about the good home support that Benton's got tonight. Here's the kickoff.
Here we go. Scott Long straight down the field. Easterling at the 10. Alan Easterling 15, 20, 25-yard line. And Jason McGee says no at the 29. So that's where the Grizzlies will take over at their own 29-yard line.
Steve, in the pregame we said Scott Long would not kick off, that Heath Nix was, but knowing Long, the competitor he is, he kicked off and did a good job.
The Grizzlies, they like to run the football exclusively. David Christenberry and Steve Bell make up probably the most talented backfield in the state. Christenberry right up the middle, right over Roger Barker, and close to a first down. Shane Smith picks up Christenberry at the 37-yard line. It's going to be about a half a yard shy of a first down, and right away we see the power and strength of David Christenberry went right over Roger Barker.
Last week against Mills, Christenberry was in on more than 40 plays. In a high school game, you get about 60, so that shows how important he is to Northside.
Averaging 5.2 yards a carry. Joe Fred Young, Northside coach, says they haven't had a player of his caliber in a long time. Christenberry left side, not much there this time. He will have the first down as he crosses the 40-yard line to the 42. Kelsey Dedman, Greg Mundy combined for the hit. Heath Nix comes out of the ball game, and we're early on, 11:15 to go in the first quarter, and Fort Smith Northside has a first down. They're 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. No surprise, 2 plays, 2 to Mr. Christenberry.
You're probably gonna make that call a lot tonight, Steve.
The backs and an eye behind quarterback junior Jay Richardson. Turns, it's Christenberry again, left side running room. He has 5, 6, call it 8 yards as he crosses midfield to the 49-yard line. Roger Barker there for the hit for Benton, along with Jason McGee. And so it's been Christenberry. Joe Fred Young makes no bones about it. He's proud of his offensive line. 4 seniors, 1 junior, and probably perhaps the most talented of those linemen in the middle. That's Todd Soler, 6'5", 235 pounds, going head up with a very spirited ball player, Greg Mundy.
The Northside coaches couldn't believe Mundy was only a sophomore.
2nd down, 1.5 yards to go for Northside. Moving left to right, Christenberry has the first down, pounds across the 45 to the 43 of Benton. Panthers come up with the football, but the officials are going to rule the ball dead. Randy Russell offering, hey, let's get him off the field. Show the officials the football, but no way. It'll be 1st and 10 Northside. 2nd first down early on, and the Grizzlies impressive down at the Benton 44-yard line. 4 carries for David Christenberry, 2 first downs for Fort Smith Northside. Backs remain in an eye. Set behind Christenberry, Steve Bell. He's 6'1", 207 pounds. He gets the call. Big hole up the middle, but he is knocked back. Oh, Kirk Shelnut. It was helmet to helmet, and Shelnut, a vicious hit by Kirk. I mean, Bell, from up here, looked like the north side line had opened up a pretty good hole. And Kirk said hello to Steve Bell, and size-wise, that's a mismatch. You've got Bell at 207, Kirk about a junior at 175, and Kirk popped him up, and it was Mr. Bell who went backwards.
Looked like he hit a wall.
2nd down, 7 yards to go. Richardson gives to Christenberry. He'll have the first down. Watch out. 30-yard line, 25. Jason McGee with the saving tackle at the 25-yard line. First down, north side. And the Grizzlies, early on in this ball game, awesome.
They're doing what everybody says they do. They run the ball, and they're keeping on the ground, and they've got 3 first downs already.
North side, 1st and 10. At the Benton 24-yard line, Panther defense needs to come up strong. Hold north side to maybe 3 points on this drive. Richardson turns, gives to Christenberry right side, short yardage. He'll have 2 yards off the right side. Shelnut Mundy ranging over from his nose guard spot. It'll bring up a 2nd down, 8 yards to go. A little over 9 minutes to play in the first quarter. Fort Smith Northside on the move, and this is a scoreless ball game. Jeff? little background on my career, did Northside for 2 or 3 years, and in big games, often they have the tendency to put the ball on the ground. I think that's a big factor tonight. They're a machine that's tough to stop.
Talking with Coach Young this week, that's something he's very concerned about, fumbles.
Second down, 7 yards to go. Christenberry up the middle, and down he goes as he crosses the 20 for a short yardage.
Bobby Van Cleve with the hit.
Good job by the interior people, too, of slowing up Christenberry, and then Van Cleve. Mr. Panther voted at the banquet, showed up for practice earlier this week. Bobby had a big gauze bandage across his jaw. Someone had told me he had like 5 stitches in his jaw. Not enough to keep Bobby Van Cleve out of the lineup.
He is a very, very tough player.
Bobby in on 11 tackles against Little Rock Central. Big 3rd and 6 for Northside at the Benton 20-yard line. Richardson long count. Gives to Christenberry. He won't have the first down. Kelsey Dedman. 6'4", 260 pounds. The Northside coaches looked over at Kelsey Dedman and said, where is he going to play college? I said, he's back next year. He said, what do they feed these guys in Benton? It's 4th down, 2 yards to go, and yes, we have the first big play of the ball game. Northside will go. Out goes Shane Smith. In comes more meat in the form of Heath Nix. 4th down, 2 yards to go. Northside at the Benton 16. The crowd comes to its feet to urge on the Panthers. Richardson will keep. He'll have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Credit Joe Fred Young with a good call. Everybody in the place, including the Benton defense, was looking for Mr. Christenberry, and we got Richardson, the quarterback, stringing it out for an easy first down, first and goal.
He made the fake to Christenberry, and everybody bid on it, and then he had open ground on the outside.
Christenberry, such a valuable weapon, 200-pound senior. Northside, first and goal at the Benton 8-yard line. 6-man front for the Panthers. Richardson, long call. He gives to Christenberry, running left, 5-3. He's down at the 2-yard line. Once again, Northside doing an exceptional job, and it was Jason McGee who's been in on too many hits this early for Benton, and it's 2nd and goal to go for the Grizzlies. This has been Northside. This drive has been as impressive as any team Benton has played this season. Awesome ground attack. 6:40 to play in the first quarter. It's been all Northside. Benton offense yet to get its hands on the football. Jay Richardson, the quarterback. 2nd and goal to go. Christenberry left side. Is he in? No. The Benton defense stops him shy of the goal line. Good job by the right side of the defensive line. Greg Mundy combining with Scott Long. You mentioned in the pregame, Scott Long far from 100% tonight. He's been hobbled all week and probably operating closer to maybe 60 or 50% tonight. 3rd and goal, Grizzlies. Just outside the Benton 1. Right up the middle goes the quarterback, Richardson, into the end zone. And Fort Smith Northside, impressive on its opening drive, marches in for the score. Quarterback Jay Richardson takes it in, a 163-pound junior, but make no mistake about it. It was the offensive line and David Christenberry responsible for those 6 points. 71-yard drive for the Grizzlies. Christenberry, awesome on that opening drive. Already up over 50 yards. Martin to attempt the point after. High kick right down the middle. Just like that, Fort Smith Northside, 7, Benton nothing. Let's take a 1-minute break. Back at C.W. Lewis Stadium, Bill Lincoln on the kick return, knocked out of bounds at the 24-yard line. So Benton takes over 1st and 10 on its own 24-yard line, and you hate to talk about a must series this early in the game with 5:50 to play in the first quarter, but Northside literally running through Benton on its first drive, 71 yards, and you have to feel, Jeffrey, that the offense has to some way answer. Maybe not a score, but just move the ball a little.
At least move the ball, so if Benton has to punt, they can, with this question surrounding the punting game tonight, so they can have a field position advantage.
I have a feeling Tommy Jumper is going to have the game of his life. He may need to. 1st and 10 Benton. First offensive series. And Robert McNeely slips and falls. He crosses the 25 to the 26-yard line. Short gain of just 2 yards. On the season, Robert averaging 4.5 yards a carry. He's over 300 yards. And since being shifted to that halfback spot from fullback, his stats have just gone through the roof.
They really did, and he had the big 100-yard game against Benton, against Bryant, that really helped.
It's 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Benton right to left on your radio dial. 2nd round of the 4A state playoffs. Panthers trail the Grizzlies 7-0. Scott Long, tight end right side. Greg Holmes running across the 32-yard line. Gain of 6. It'll bring up 3rd and short. Good effort by Greg Holmes, and it's good to have Greg Holmes back at 100%. He was the most effective runner last week against Central, rushing for 50 yards against an unbelievable defense.
He really is, and I got a feeling Greg Holmes will get a lot of action tonight.
It'll be 3rd down, very important 2 yards for Benton. The ball at the Panther 32. They need to get 32 and a half, need to get to the 35 for a 1st down. Scott Long, tight end right side. Jumper, quick pitch to McNeely, running right. He's going to have to beat a Grizzly. He does. Let's see where they spot him out of bounds. They're going to mark him about maybe a half a yard shy, it looks like. Let's see who's going to spot. There's 2 officials over there. One gave McNeely a poor spot, and I believe the other got it so close to the stick that I don't believe they can tell even that it's right up against the marker. Now they stretch him out.
They're going to move it 2 inches for a measurement, Steve.
And 1st down or no 1st down, Robert McNeely with one heck of an effort. He was one-on-one with the Grizzly, and McNeely won the battle. Scott Long's over there. He can usually give us a good indication before the officials.
I believe it's just a hair short.
And it's going to bring up 4th and short. Dwight Fite talking to Danny Jordan. North side on top, 7-0. And the way the Grizzlies moved the ball on their opening series, Dwight Fite isn't even thinking punt. And in comes the meat for the Grizzlies. They just brought in 2 tanks. Jeff Van Zant, 5'10", 265. Here we go. 4th and inches. Benton at the 34.5. Jumper right up the middle, 1st down. Great call. It was Jumper and Dwight Everett. Nobody else moved, and it's a Benton 1st down.
That was just a play of quickness where Benton says, hey, we're going to snap the ball and beat you to the punch, and they did. Big 1st down. Gutsy call by Coach Fite there.
5'10", 265, Jeff Van Sant. I believe he was still in his stance when Tommy Jumper bolted across the line of scrimmage. Jumper, a big night. He just made his first big play. 1st and 10, Benton. Trailing 7-0, midway through the 1st quarter. Panthers at their own 36-yard line. Straight up the middle, Greg Holmes bounces off 2 Grizzlies out to the 40-yard line. 4 hard-earned yards for Greg Holmes. And early message I get from up here is that Greg Holmes came to play tonight, and the inside of the offensive line certainly holding their own.
He really is. Holmes is he's not real big, about 5'9", 160 pounds, and he kind of gets lost behind those big backs, and he's got 4 or 5 yards before you even see him.
It's 2nd down, 6 yards to go. Panthers at their own 40-yard line, trailing 7-0. Monty Cornwell, big touchdown catch last week, is wide to the left side. Jumper, option. He's going to turn it in and lean forward for a gain of 3. Out to the 43-yard line. Quarterback off tackle. Something Fort Smith Southside made a living on against Fort Smith Northside.
That's right. If those of us who got to see the film of Southside, they ran that play out of the run and shoot offense that Southside runs, and their quarterback, sophomore Wesley Gibson, broke it long 3 times.
3rd down, 2 yards to go. Perry Goodell, very confident of his offensive line during the week. And that's a man with faith in his players. He's been confident from word go of these guys. 3rd and short. Call it 2 yards to go. Pitch goes to McNeely, running right. Robert has the 1st down, close to midfield. 1st down, Benton. Tommy Jumper making the initial read. He realized it wasn't there. He pitched it back to McNeely. And once again, give McNeely credit. The pitch, he had a hard time handling it, but had the composure to say, hey, I got to catch the football. Then I have to run with it, and that will be a big play tonight.
One thing, it looks like Northside is not going to let Jumper beat him. They're making him pitch the ball.
And it's something a quarterback like Tommy Jumper, not concerned about the stats. Last week he accounted for just about 42 yards if you look at his stats, but he had a big game. 1st and 10, and Jumper's going to throw at midfield. He has time. He's firing deep for McNeely. Overthrown and incomplete. Good coverage. Bo Relaford on the play. Bo is one heck of an athlete. 185-pound senior. He's the son of Billy Joe Relaford, who is a Fort Smith legend. And Bo has 4 interceptions this year, and he is the man in that secondary who can do the job.
That was a throwback there that McNeely was covered perfectly, and all the receivers Benton had out. Jake Goheen had split in and long at tight end. They all covered. Looks like good pass coverage for the north side.
Good job by the offensive line keeping the Grizzlies out. So it'll be 2nd down and 10, ball at midfield. Panthers trailing 7-0, 3:12 to go in the first quarter. Monty Cornwell wide to the left side. Jumper options left. Tommy will keep. Breaks the tackle and gets to the north side 45-yard line for a gain of probably 4. Now they're going to spot it at the 46. It'll bring up a 3rd and 6. Too early to read too much into this ball game, but the only thing that may stop these offenses is the clock.
Both teams have shown success moving the ball here early.
North side, to be perfectly honest, move the ball a little easier. They've got tremendous backs. It's 3rd down, 6 yards to go. Jason McGee wide left. Scott Long is tight end right side. Backs in a bone. Jumper to throw. Scott Long is held up at the line of scrimmage. Tommy biding time, pulls it down. He's going to run. He's going to be stopped as he crosses the 45 to the 44-yard line, about 4 yards shy of a 1st down, and on comes the punt team. Looking for Scott Long, and Scott was held up at the line of scrimmage, actually slipped and went down.
He really did. Now it's a big question. This drive for Benton did one thing. It got the ball to the north side 44, and if Long has his normal 35, 36-yard average, we'll come out of it in good shape. But his punting ability is a big question mark for this game.
Scott Long back at the Benton 40. Low snap, he handles it. Kick is off, it's high, and it's deep. Christenberry waiting at the 10, fields it at the 9. Hands off on the reverse, crossing the 10-yard line, and down goes the north side return man at the 11. They run that reverse frequently. It worried, quite frankly, it was worrying Coach Dwight Fite. And Rodney Wright was well aware of the reverse because Rodney put a hat on the Grizzly, Michael Gurley, and sent him flying to the turf. So it's 1st and 10, north side backed up at the 13, and yes, Scott Long can kick.
Talk about hitting your average, 36 yards on the kick.
Scott Long is a trooper and a battler, and no one wants to get by this 2nd-round opponent more than Scott Long, and he'll do everything possible to get Benton in the 3rd round. Richardson turns, gives to Christenberry. He's hit and knocked out of bounds. After a gain of just 2, Bobby Van Cleve put the first hat on him. Craig Lincoln said, "You need some help, Bobby." He came up. Jason McGee came flying up. A gain of 2.5 yards, and that's the way you got to tackle David Christenberry. No one this year has tackled that kid very well.
He showed his strength right there, and he's got good speed to go with it. He's as Joe Fred Young said, he's just a great high school football player.
A little over a minute to play in the first quarter. Northside leading 7-0. Right up the middle goes Christenberry. Kelsey Dedman, great penetration from his tackle spot. Quickly grabbed Christenberry by the legs, threw him to the turf. Another gain of 2 yards. It brings up a 3rd and 6. And on this drive, as compared to the last on 2 plays, the Benton defensive line winning the war.
They really are. Of course, I think they've kind of got an idea on what to expect.
Yeah, big red 44. 200-pound senior. 3rd down, 5 yards to go. The pitch to Bell, running left. Flags are down. Bell will have the 1st down as he gets out to the 24-yard line. But keep in mind, there's a little yellow hanky at the 16-yard line. Talks it over with the north side group. Now with Scott Long. And let's see for the official word. It's motion. I got it from the official on Benton's side, Scott Long, and it's going against Northside. Bobby Van Cleve says, why ask? They're going back. So it's going to bring up, say, from a 3rd and 6 and what would have been a 1st down, and now it's going to bring up a 3rd and 11. And you mentioned Dwight Fite will be the first to mention that Northside is probably a little more talented in certain spots, but something that is no accident. On the season, Benton something like 27 penalties, opponents 60.
I noticed. I was looking at the stat sheet that day, and I was not aware of that, and it was just amazing. It's just amazing a team go through averaging less than 3 penalties a game.
3rd and 11. Northside not the most talented team throwing the ball. Jay Richardson, 5 interceptions on the year. The give to Bell straight up the left side. Forget it, and there goes another flag.
We may have a holding call here, Steve.
The defensive line, Kelsey Dedman came to play, and once again, Scott Long. He's like a referee on the field. Holding, and you can bet Northside or Benton will decline the penalty.
I don't know. They may want to push him back further.
With Northside's inability to throw the ball, that is a consideration. But having a Christenberry, a Bell in the backfield almost turns it's almost like a passing team when they have that kind of firepower. It'll be declined. Just too much chance with a Christenberry or a Steve Bell in the backfield to break it. Hey, let's hear it for the Benton Panther defense. They bowed up, especially big 74, Kelsey Dedman. 2 plays out of the 3, Kelsey was there to say no.
Number 74, I think he's got an idea what it's going to take tonight after that first drive, and he looks ready now.
Well, Benton has answered the call as the first quarter ends, and the Panther defense answers in a way, yes, we're going to play tonight. Let's take a 30-second break. Your score, Fort Smith Northside 7, your Fighting Panthers 0. Bob Edmondson, what's the feeling on the sidelines?
Steve, the Panthers are fired up. If you remember, the first series offensively by the Bryan Hornets looked pretty good. The Panthers came back, made some adjustments. That's what they did tonight. I believe they made some adjustments, and the defense is going to look a lot better. Steve?
Chris Carter back in his end zone to punt the football. Gets it off at the 5. Sophomore low kick. It'll bounce at the 45, bounce across midfield, but the Benton offense will have great field position. Panthers will start at their own 48-yard line. Monty Cornwell, yes, a smart play. If you're attending a Panther game for the first time and you say, hey, why isn't the kid fair catching that ball? Benton has had too many things go wrong, and the offense is playing well tonight. They didn't get any points in that first drive, but they proved they can move the ball north side.
That, and they've changed field position around greatly now. If Benton gets a couple of first downs there in field goal range or in 4-down territory, so it changes a lot.
7-0 Northside with the lead. Benton 1st and 10 on its own 48 as we start the second quarter. Give goes right up the middle to Greg Holmes, running hard across the 45 of Northside for a gain of 7 yards. Bring up a 2nd and 3. That has to be encouraging for Dwight Fite to see Greg Holmes gaining that yardage up the middle. And my friends, the men on the offensive line are doing the job.
That, and Greg just kind of squats down and keeps those legs moving, and those linemen can't find him in there.
I made reference there last week that early in the Central game that Holmes' average would take a beating. He answered it. Greg is now averaging 6.2. It didn't take much of a beating. 11 carries, 50 yards last week against the best defense in the state. 2nd down, running hard off the right side is Kirk Shelnut and close to a 1st down. It is going to be awfully close. Kirk doesn't believe in any of this wavering. It's north and south, me and you.
Got a measurement.
And we've got our man there, nose up with the football, like a coach on the field, Scott Long. Everybody else remains in the huddle. The Northside captain could care less. But Long is out there saying, talking with the officials, saying, hey, don't even bring out the chains. I can tell you what it's going to be. I've been out here enough of these. Your score, 7-0 Northside. They drove 71 yards. On their opening possession, they stretched the chains out. No signal from Scott. And it's a good half-yard shy. The ball at the 42-yard line. Benton needs close, maybe about a half a yard for a 1st down on 3rd down. Panthers moving left to right. Now Tommy Jumper, a little confused, yells over to Dwight Fite. Benton on the right hash mark, close enough where Tommy can yell to coach. Be 3rd and short. Northside, big 5-man defensive front. Holmes, McNeely, and Shelmut behind Jumper. Holmes for the 1st down and still going. Spins off a hit and down to the 35. Greg Holmes, power running in the inside. He's not the biggest fullback in the state, but you hit it right. He keeps the feet moving, And the college is going to come knocking on Christenberry's door, but it could be Greg Holmes who makes the difference tonight. First down, Benton at the north side, 35.
We've got a tremendous battle of fullbacks going here, and boy, you can't have a bigger contrast in fullbacks. Big, strong Christenberry and Holmes, who is strong, but he's just not big.
Jake Goheen wide to the right side. Benton on the move. The give goes to Shelnut. Bounces off a hit. Cuts across the 35 down to the north side 30. Kirk Shelnut must have heard us bragging about Greg Holmes because he knocked off a hit and gained 4 yards and out of the ball game, obviously hurting Scott Long, and in goes Randy Russell, and he could be Benton's secret weapon tonight at tight end.
That's right. They want to be expecting number 37 at tight ends, but if you remember way back the first ball game, Randy Russell scored that first catch, first touchdown.
And Randy Russell goes tight end left. It's second down, 5.5. 9:50 to go in the first half. North side clinging to a 7-0 lead. Shelnut left side. Not much. He got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Bring up a 3rd and 5. Benton with the ball on the north side, 30-yard line. 9:30 to go in the first half. Now Kirk Shelnut with a little equipment trouble. No, it's McNeely with a little equipment trouble. Getting his helmet attended to by the official. Now there's official's timeout. They get Kirk's headgear straight. Chance for the offense to catch their breath. And a very big 3rd down for Benton, definitely in 4-down territory. The Panthers at the north side 30-yard line, with the open side of the field being the right. My guess, either a throw to Randy Russell or miss the jumper is coming our way on the option.
That and one thing you got to consider here, Steve, at the 30, 4-down territory.
Randy Russell is tight end right side. 3rd down, 5 yards to go. Benton at the north side 30-yard line. Jumper, option near side of the field. Watch out! Inside the 20. 19, inside the 15 to the 14. Yes, Tommy Jumper on the option. Talking to the Northside coaches, they say, how good is this jumper kid? I said, well, I haven't seen a better one this year. There may be quarterbacks with better talent, Cedric Fillmore with raw ability, but no one, I don't think, does a better job of running an offense than Tommy Jumper.
You're right you're right about that, Steve. He's if I had a vote for All-State quarterback, it'd be for number 4.
1st and 10, Benton at the north side 14-yard line. Jumper, option right side, cuts it in, 10, 6-yard line and out of bounds. Scott Long goes out of the ball game. Tommy's buddy and really the co-leader of this offense, and I think Jumper has really taken it upon himself. And this is a credit to the Benton offensive line. They've opened it up in the middle where it comes. Northside can't just concentrate on Jumper. They've got to worry about Holmes.
They can't just concentrate on stopping Jumper. They see that he will give the ball to the fullback if it's there.
2nd and 3 for a first down. Panthers need to get to the north side 4. The ball is at the 7. Shelnut, McNeely, and Holmes. Holmes gets the call, and he hurdles to the 5. It's going to be about a yard shy of the first down, and 7 points is a must on this drive. 8:11 to play in the first half. And those folks that maybe opened up the paper from Little Rock and checked out the 10-0 win and probably traveled down here are seeing now that this team deserves to be in this ball game.
They really are. And, of course, last week's win was attributed more to the defense, but we're going to need more offense tonight.
And the crowd, I don't know if you can hear them, Pep Steppers band waving their hankies, yelling, go, go, go. 3rd down and short. Jumper options left side. Tommy pitches at the last minute. Touchdown. What a pitch. Kirk Shelnut. What a pitch by Tommy Jumper. I don't know how many of you out there listening saw the Arkansas State ball game last week against Lamar. Dwayne Brown, we've been showing the play all week, almost down on the ground, pitches the football. Tommy Jumper looked from up here, I was 90 to 95% sure he was carrying that football. At the last minute, he said, Shelnut, you've got it.
2 guys had their arms on him when he pitched it.
Randy Russell, call him Mr. Consistent. His kick is up, off the crossbar, no good. I jinxed him. Oh, and that could hurt. I mean, it hit the right crossbar, upright, and we didn't get the bounce, but we got the 6 points. I'll never do that again. The score is 7-6. Fort Smith Northside over Benton. Let's take a 1-minute break. Back at C.W. Lewis Stadium. I guess 13 is an unlucky number. No, for at least it is tonight for Benton. Randy Russell, I think, was 13 of 13 on point afters and missed that one by about 6 inches. Kickoff, Heath Nix, fielded by Greg Andrews. Crosses the 25, watch out. Good tackle made by Shane Smith. No, check it, Will Connell, as Greg Andrews came flying across the 30 to 32-yard line. You'll hear that name more tonight, Greg Andrews. He is Northside's top tailback. According to Joe Fred Young, he's averaging 6 yards a carry. He's not 100% tonight. I talked to their trainer. He's in the ball game. He's about 80%. And he is lightning at only 5'5". 1st and 10 Northside. The pitch to Andrews, running right side. Kelsey Dedman over for the hit after a gain of 2. Randy Russell holding his ground on that left defensive end. Bobby Van Cleve and Kelsey Dedman in on another hit. And that's something for Dedman to get a hand on him, since Kelsey's 6'4", 260, and Andrews is only 5'5", and bad news as Randy Russell has to come off the field. Now there's a little confusion. Officials timeout. Randy just shook up a bit. Let's hope he's all right. Will Connell will come into the ball game at defensive end, and Will has been under the fire. He's been in the ball game. Another talented sophomore, and he's got good help next door with Kelsey Dedman. If Northside decides to pick on Will Connell, they got to go with Kelsey Dedman. 2nd down, 8 yards to go as Connell's in at defensive end. They run right at him. Pitch to that side. Andrews has good yardage. Jason McGee, fine tackle at the 40. Knocks him out of bounds, shy of the 1st down. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 3-yard situation. And that was a fine hit by Jason McGee. One-on-one. And rather than give the back forward progress, Jason, no world beater. He's not going to win any street fights probably at 150 pounds, but one-on-one, he knocked him straight out of bounds.
Just as Benton showed diversified on this offense, showing several different ways to strike, Northside showing another way here besides Christenberry.
Joe Fred's way of saying, yes, they're in the battle. Richardson keeping. He has the 1st down, running well across the 45 to the 49-yard line. Finally covering them there, Kelsey Dedman and Greg Mundy, who backtracked from their line spots. And on 2 occasions, Jay Richardson has hurt Benton running the football. He doesn't have exceptional speed. He just picks his way, and it's a surprise anytime the Northside quarterback carries the football.
Randy Russell's back in, Steve.
6:20 to play in the 1st half. Northside 7, Benton 6. The pitch to Andrews, running right side. Kelsey Dedman gets an arm on him, and down he goes after a gain of 2. I don't know who's trying to block Kelsey Dedman tonight, but I think he's about 1 for 14. Dedman has been in almost on every defensive play. It's 2nd down, 8 yards to go. And now quick timeout, and we'll go down to the field. Check in with Robert Edmondson.
Well, Steve, Randy Russell set out a couple of plays. I think he just took a little hit to the chest and lost his wind for just a second. Also, I noticed Greg Holmes was over with a trainer just a few minutes ago getting that left hand retaped that he broke earlier this year. Steve?
Dan Cathy, a busy man. He is Benton's trainer. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Northside at the 48, straight up the middle. Steve Bell, he's going to be close to a 1st down. Bell, 6'1", 207 pounds. Kirk Shelnut, Randy Russell combined for the hit, but it's going to be awfully close to the 1st down marker. Now the officials call for a timeout. They want to bring out the sticks. So once again, we see Northside moving. Defense is having a lot of problems tonight stopping these 2 offenses.
They really are. I was expecting more of a defensive struggle, and now we've got 2 offensive running.
And now the Northside players point 1st down, and the official agrees. 1st down, Grizzlies at the 41. I mentioned earlier, Northside has had the tendency in the past to turn over the ball in big games. We've played a 1/4 and the Grizzlies have yet to come close to a fumble. Let's hope I jinxed Northside like I did Randy Russell on the point after. 7-6, that's the difference. A missed point after. Northside on top. 5:30 to play in the 1st half. Now Northside splits 2 receivers to the left side. Only 1 Panther out there guarding. Option right side. The pitch. The ball's on the ground. Back is Andrews covering it back at the 49-yard line. Before I even comment on that play, I'll maybe try to jinx him again.
It was the end there. Russell forced the quarterback to pitch the ball early, and he didn't even look where he threw it, and it was back on the ground, an 8-yard loss.
I am not even going to try to even give too many accolades to a Benton player tonight in the chance that it could come back and haunt me when I listen back to this ball game. Second down, 19 yards to go. The ball is back at the 48-yard line. For a first down, Northside has to get to the Benton 30. The give goes to Andrews, running right side, and for a good gain, probably 8 yards. It's going to bring up still third and long of 11 yards. Bobby Van Cleve from his linebacker spot. And Van Cleve, never a surprise when we call his name. Right behind Scott Long in the tackle charts, averages about 10 or 11 tackles a ball game, and he is just one hard-nosed player.
Had his best game of the week against Central, of the year last week against Central, Coach Fight said.
Third down, 11 yards to go. Richardson with Christenberry and Andrews. Set behind him in the eye. Here comes the blitz. Van Cleve. Richardson's going to throw. Fires. He's got a man open. Off his hands and incomplete. Receiver was wide open and dropped the football, Patrick Hale. When you don't throw the ball much, things like that can happen a lot.
You have a lack of concentration and you're not used to the ball coming to you a lot. As someone who played a little receiver in high school, you just kind of forget about it. And I played on a running team too, and sometimes you think, well, all you worry about is that they're ever going to throw the ball.
13 for 46 on the season. And we don't know if that's a true barometer of Jay Richardson after watching the receiver, Patrick Hale. He was wide open. And my friends, you have to put the hands on it and bring it in, or it goes down in the books like a great breakup. Punt situation. Chris Carter, only a sophomore. And he shanks it out of bounds. Short kick. This may be a 2 or 3 yard kick. Let's see where they spot the football. The official walks up the field. Still walking. Northside coaches trying to stand in his way. They'll spot it at the 32, a 9-yard kick, and it was a generous spot. And not saying anything against sophomores being in a game like this, because Benton's got 7 or 8, but it's a tough chore to handle. Kicking the ball is a pressure situation.
It really is, and now Benton has 4:04 to try to get down within kicking range to take a halftime lead.
I just feel too good about this ball game. 4:04 to play in the first half. It's 7-6 Northside over Benton. Panthers scored on their last drive. Scott Long is tight end right side. Up the middle for big yardage. A gain of 6. Greg Little getting his first call at fullback, and he goes for 6 yards. It'll bring up a 2nd and 4 for Benton. And you see right here, fullback will be important. And Dwight Fight, Greg Holmes, as Bob mentioned on the sidelines, maybe a little banged up, the arm a little tender, goes to Greg Little. And this experience he got while Greg Holmes was injured, very important. Comes to play here. 2nd and 4, the ball across the 37 at the 38-yard line. Left side, the give, Lincoln, not much. Call it maybe a gain of a half a yard. Northside defense did a tremendous job defending Craig Lincoln on the left side, so it'll be a 3rd down, 4 yards to go, and Monty Cornwell into the ball game. And now the defense started coming to play for both teams.
Really is. This is probably the first real passing situation Benton's been in, but they've had success with the option, so you might look for it here.
3rd down, 4 yards to go. Panthers at their own 37-yard line, trailing by a point, 7-6. We're in the second quarter from C.W. Lewis Stadium. Movement on the line. It's going to be offsides against Benton. McNeely goes right side. He's going to be stopped shy of the first down, and you can expect Northside to decline the penalty. Motion. Monty Cornwell jumped left end out at the split end spot. Nothing he could do after he moved. And now Northside with a decision to make. And Joe Fred Young says, no way. They want to go for 4th and 2. Let them go for 4th and 2. We'll decline the penalty. So Northside declines the penalty. Danny Jordan having a little talk with Monty Cornwell, just a short one. Hits him on the shoulder pads. Monty has come up big. And the hit on the shoulder pads was something of encouragement. I mean, they've come a long way. This team's been through as much adversity or more than any other team in the playoffs. 2:40 to play in the first half, and this could be a very important 2 minutes, 40 seconds. Northside dangerous on special teams. Scott Long is back at the 25-yard line. Gets the snap, just gets the kick off. It's high and it's short. Fair catch called by Christenberry. There goes the ball. It's on the ground. He covers it. He covers it at the 36-yard line. He almost nonchalantly fielded that football, and it almost cost him. He was waving his hand almost like I'm going to wave it and not even attempt to field it. And in a host, he was amidst a host of maroon jerseys. He tried to field it and lost the football, and He got a good bounce. 2:20 to play in the first half. Even ball game at 7-6. Northside leading Benton. Now the Panthers go to the 4-man front. Richardson, I formation. Option near side of the field, and down he goes. Greg Mundy from his nose guard spot. Mundy there to say no. And he must have won the battle with Todd Solar on that occasion. Last week, the kid came up big, Greg Mundy did. 2 sacks last week. Before the game, I get a chance to watch all these kids, but I'm not down here all week during practice. I said, what kind of kid is this Mundy? Dwight said, he is all business. And he says he'll put him up against anyone in the state at center. It's 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Richardson will throw the ball. He's got time, rolling out, fires. He's got a man. It's complete for a first down out near midfield. Richardson right on target to Mike Gurley. Gurley, a 163-pound junior, 10 catches this season. That's Northside's leader with 10. And a first down for Northside at midfield with plenty of time. 1:30 to play in the first half. And so far, Richardson has been fairly impressive throwing the football.
He really has. You don't hear much about the passing game, but it's looked good.
2 receivers come to the near side. 1st and 10, Northside, the ball at midfield. Grizzlies lead by 1. Inside 2 minutes to play in the first half. Richardson to throw, fires, complete. Lorenzo Jones, first down at the Benton 36-yard line. Monty Cornwell and Bobby Van Cleve with the hit. One thing you can't do, you can't let Fort Smith Northside beat you through the air. Their offensive running game is just too effective. 1:15 as now the Benton followers, the big crowd on hand tonight, come together and chant defense, defense. 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line. Richardson to throw. Here comes the pressure. Fires on the run. It's going to be a great catch for a gain of 8. Lorenzo Jones made a big league catch. But now there's whistles and a timeout by Northside with 57 seconds left in the first half. And we'll take a 30-second timeout with your score. Northside 7, Benton 6. Northside definitely in field goal range is Don Fulcher. What a job coaches have done with this defense. Comes off the field. And we'll see what goes. 2nd down, 2 yards to go. Northside at the Benton 27-yard line. Richardson back to throw. He's got time. Pumps, fires, incomplete, way overthrown. Good coverage. He was looking for Lorenzo Jones, and Shane Smith was right there.
He really did, but he had plenty of time to throw the ball for a team. Usually teams that run a lot aren't real good at pass blocking is the way certain things go because they don't do it a lot. But he had all day long to throw. Good coverage by the Panthers.
A big factor on the pass rush. Scott Long has been a force rushing the quarterback. 12 sacks this year, and most have come latter part of the season. But he has definitely hobbled a bit tonight, not as effective. The give straight up the middle to Christenberry, and down he goes. He'll have the first down. But that's just about it as he gets to the 25. Clock rolling. It's 45 seconds, and now timeout. No timeout will be called. They're just going to move the chains, and then the clock will crank back up. First down at the 25-yard line. Northside just concerned about getting the first down. The clock down to 40. 39 seconds to go in the first half. Ball at the Benton 25-yard line. Richardson back to throw, rolling out. He's got time, fires. He's got a man at the 15, spins off the hit, 10-yard line. It's Mike Gurley, and Northside is threatening at the Benton 10 with 21 seconds, 20 seconds to go in the first half. Not getting the pressure on Gurley.
28 seconds left, Steve.
27, 26. Tough to see the clock. The utility pole right in the way, but it's been there all season. Can't use it as an excuse now. Clock down to 19, 18 seconds to go. Northside on the line of scrimmage, 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. Richardson rolls right, throws a little quick screen to Christenberry. Big hit, and down he goes at the line of scrimmage. Greg Mundy came over from his nose guard spot and got the initial lick on Christenberry and then said, help. And the clock is now down to 6 seconds to go in the first half. 8 seconds to go in the first half. And Northside could be taking a gamble now as they meet with quarterback Jay Richardson. There's a chance if they go for it on this occasion, they may come up empty with nothing. Clock could run out.
I've got a feeling what they'll do is they'll try to throw and get the touchdown through the air. Instead, and if it's incomplete, then it stops the clock, and they've got a chance for the field goal then. course, 8 seconds, you've got time to run a play in there.
The big thing here, you can imagine, you can probably almost guess the call is going to be a quick call. Just quick drop and one receiver. They're going to say, hey, if he's not open, throw it out of bounds. But if Benton can get any pressure, now Don Fulcher finished with this conference with his troops, and here we go. North side will go for it. Forego the kick if they have to do it on the next down. Now the crowd really getting into it. Richardson, quick drop, loops it. He's got a man open. Touchdown, north side. Lorenzo Jones. Wide open on the left side. And all he had to do was just hold on to the football because Lorenzo wasn't threatened any. And what a big play. 13-6. And David Martin is on the field with a chance to make this an 8-point ball game. Big play. We got what we expected. Quick drop from Richardson. And Lorenzo Jones just wide open on the left side. Really took the starch out of the crowd. We'll have all halftime to get souped up. Now there's some confusion at the line of scrimmage. Talk about an all-purpose player. Christenberry does the snapping on the point afters. He's big enough. 6 foot, 200 pounds. Christenberry gives a look. Now he's over the football. Snap is back. Martin's kick is up, and it's good. Your score with 2 seconds left in the first half is Fort Smith Northside 14, Benton 6. Let's take a 30-second break. Second half.
It really is, especially with the missed extra point. Benton's not only a touchdown behind, it is a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a little onside kick. Now they just flutter it downfield, and Bill Lincoln covers it at the 30. Panthers have made their way back onto the field for the second half. Don't believe for 1 minute that I've given up on this team. They've come too far and done too many things. Me not to believe they're going to come back and play a strong second half. And I still believe that the Benton Panthers will be around next week for the third round of the playoffs. It's going to take a good effort in the second half. They trail a fine Fort Smith Northside team 14-6. Scott Long obviously isn't 100%, but Scott Long at 60 or 70% is as effective as most players in the state. 14-6 your score at the half. This next score, not important, it's crucial. Fort Smith Northside, with their offensive firepower in the backfield, has the potential, if they get another score, just to grind out the clock and make this a boring second half. But Tommy Jumper, I've just seen too many things with the Benton offense. Unless they put the ball on the ground, they're going to have some success in the second half.
That's right. And the Panthers, this first drive here will be big, and I got a feeling something good's getting ready to happen, Stephen.
David Martin strapping up his kicking foot, kicking shoe. He is a fine kicker. He averages 55 yards a kickoff. Should get it back to the 5 where Jamie Jones and Bill Lincoln are standing. Heavily taped foot, and there goes the kick. Jones backs up to the 1 into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20, and that may be a good idea because Mr. Martin not only hits them long, he hits them high, and he's everything that's been advertised.
Joe Fred told us the truth on that one, didn't he, Steve?
He sure did. The kid is a kicker. Let's hope the Benton offense can go 80 yards, get that crowd back into this ball game. Northside, once again, it was 7-6. Time running out in the first half, 8 seconds. A looping pass from Richardson to Jones for 6 points and made this a 2-touchdown. 14-6 ball game, 8-point game. Scott Long, tight end left. First play of the second half, right up the middle, not much for Greg Holmes. Maybe a gain of 2, it'll bring up a 2nd and 8. Holmes had a lot of success. The fullback had a lot of success for Benton in the first half, and no surprise they start the second half coming right up the middle. And the score tonight from West Lafayette, Indiana, very impressive for Mike Newell. They didn't win, but 102-88 against Purdue, nothing to be ashamed of.
That's right. Purdue is a very loaded ball club.
14-point loss. They'll obviously be disappointed, but nothing to get too down about. Second down, 8 yards to go. The ball at the Benton 22-yard line. Jumper hitting the backfield. Down he goes. Tommy is sacked back at the 15-yard line on a play-action fake. And there for Fort Smith Northside, Derwin Ard, a 205-pound senior, almost came in. He looked to be untouched, and they'll mark back at the 17-yard line. A generous spot. It'll be third down, 13 yards to go.
Steve, it looked like Ard just waited for Benton to make the 2 fakes, and he jumped on Jumper.
No surprise.
He was touched.
It'll be third down, 13 yards to go. Monty Cornwell wide to the right side. Scott Long is tight end left. Jumper, option left, wants to throw the ball for Scott. Fires it out, overthrown and incomplete. It would have taken a perfect pass. North side, Lorenzo Jones was out there, along with James Relaford. And Scott, obviously, it's apparent from up here, not operating at 100%, but he was still open on the play.
He really is. His speed has been cut tremendously, and his cutting ability is very, very limited.
And there is pressure on Scott Long now. He stands back at the 2-yard line. Twin safeties, Mike Gurley and David Christenberry, stand at the north side 45. Grizzlies will get good field position. Low kick. Short. It'll hit at midfield. Bounce into north side territory at the 45, and it's down at the 44-yard line. A low but effective kick. And we'll take a 30-second break. Your score, north side 14, Benton 6. Northside on its first play of the second half, you guessed it. David Christenberry right up the middle for 4 yards. Kelsey Dedman, we've called that name several times tonight with the tackle. Bring up a 2nd and 6 for the Grizzlies at their own 47-yard line. Quarterback Jay Richardson, talented junior, gives the Steve Bell running right side, crosses the line of scrimmage, and down he goes. Coming up on the left side for a big hit, Craig Lincoln.
Craig Lincoln came up with authority and trapped him for a 2-yard loss. Great play by the cornerback.
It will be a 2-yard loss and bring up a 3rd and 8. And Steve Bell is 6'1", 207, a big kid. I was just impressed by his size, and he walks back to the huddle checking all the parts. Craig Lincoln is very physical, whether he's on offense or defense. It'll bring up a 3rd and 8. Very big play. The Benton defense can hold here. The Panthers right in the thick of things. 3rd and 8. Richardson wants to throw. Flags are down. Here comes the heat. Fires. He's got a man, Gurley, open. No, it's Lorenzo Jones. First down.
You got to think this is a holding or a clipping penalty, something like that, where it was thrown. Motion.
It'll be motion against Northside. Negates a first down pass completion. Joe Fred Young is a little perturbed. He's got his game plan in one hand, and he's lucky he didn't lose it, the way the arms were flying. 3rd down and 13 instead of 1st and 10 at the Benton 42. Receiver once again was open, and give Richardson credit. Scott Long, as hobbling as he is, was in on Richardson, and Richardson delivered with poise and right on target.
That would be a key. Benton's secondary is playing so deep that the Panthers are going to have to get pressure on the quarterback in throwing situations, so they have to throw before the receivers are through their pattern.
3rd down, 13 yards to go. Northside back at its own 41-yard line. Backs in a high behind quarterback Jay Richardson. He gives to Steve Bell. He's hit, and down he goes. Greg Mundy with the initial hit. There goes another penalty flag, and we could see it from up here. There's a frustrated Todd Solar. It's going to be a holding call. He held Greg Mundy, and Mundy comes up with the tackle. The senior is getting whipped by a sophomore.
You got to wonder about this situation, because Benton can push him back 10 yards and kind of give him a little more field position.
And look at Coach Goodell. He says, bring him back. He's waving both arms. Coach Fulcher says, bring him back.
We've got everybody on the sidelines pointing to the
Danny
north.
Jordan says, bring him back. They will.
Coach Les Davis down there, Steve. And they're going to take them back.
And back they go.
This is kind of reminiscent of last week with Northside getting penalties on consecutive plays.
Now you have to wonder if you're Joe Fred Young on 3rd down and 23 yards to go. Jay Richardson has thrown the ball well tonight, but he has 5 interceptions on the season. An interception here could change the game around.
You're right. I think they'll keep it pretty simple. Probably give it to Christenberry.
3rd down, 23 yards to go. North side adds 32. Option left side. Richardson will keep, breaks for a few yards, and down he goes. Bobby Van Cleve flying up for the hit. Along with Greg Mundy, Kelsey Dedman did a good job of working the play inside and making Richardson keep it, and the defense does its job. Help with the help of a penalty. And Joe Fred Young said if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot too much tonight, we'll do well. But Northside has made some mistakes in trying to keep Benton in this ball game.
They really are, and the Panthers, if you get enough of those, sooner or later you're going to take advantage of one.
Carter back to punt. He shanked his last effort. He's back at the 26. Chris hits it at the 30. Low line drive. They're going to let it hop and bounce. It takes a big roll down to the 9-yard line. And so many times this season, Benton having the trouble fielding the punch, but on that occasion, Chris Carter benefits from a decision by Monty Cornwell to let the ball bounce, and it picked up an extra 25 yards.
It really was. It was a poor punt. It landed about 5 yards in front of the Benton return men, and they just let it go back.
So Benton back at the 9 with 7:40 to play in the 3rd quarter. Northside in great position, leading by 8 points. Benton in need of a big offensive play. They have to turn around this field position. Tommy Jumper with Scott Long, tight end left side. Jason McGee wide to the right side. Long count, option left side. Jumper pitches, the ball's on the ground, and Northside has it. 7-yard line. Craig Lincoln couldn't handle the pitch, and Northside takes over 1st and goal to go at the Benton 7. And the Panthers are in trouble.
They really are. Turnovers are key, and turnovers within inside your 10-yard line are really painful.
The pressure is on the defense. Randy Russell, a late addition to that defense. He'll get in as defensive end spot. 1st and goal, Northside at the 7. Option right side, the ball's on the ground. Richardson scrambles and recovers it for Northside at the 10. Northside has been very fortunate on 2 occasions. Flags are down.
Steve, we may have an illegal participation penalty against Benton. Shane Smith was running off the field, and I don't know if he got off in time.
Scott Long
is crucial.
An observer, and here we go. The official taking his time as he strides the midfield. Legal procedure against Benton, and that could be in a way of calling the illegal participation. Big penalty, no question. That'll bring up a 1st and goal at the 3.5.
Instead of having the ball in the 11.
And the defense really under the gun now. Fort Smith Northside in great position. The Grizzlies, playoff experienced, been to the state championship game the last 2 years. And right now in good position to go to the 3rd round. Little over 7 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. 14-6 Northside. 1st and goal to go. The ball at the Benton 4. Northside right to left on your radio dial. Christenberry hit by Bobby Van Cleve, and down he goes at the line of scrimmage.
I believe he lost yardage, Steve. They're marking it at the 4.
Oh, Bobby Van Cleve, a big hit from his linebacker spot. You bring Christenberry down like that, you have to deliver a hit.
That was his 16th carry of the game tonight. First time for minus yardage.
So it'll be 2nd and goal at the mark it close to the 5. Christenberry, if you're wondering, he's 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's put together well. 2nd and goal to go at the 5. Quarterback sneak right up the middle and close to the 2. Jay Richardson behind center Todd Soler. Greg Mundy had a hand on Richardson, not able to control him until the 2. So it'll be 3rd and goal to go at the 2. And the Benton defense is hanging tough. A goal line stand here. Who knows? Could be a thing that turns around the game.
I would think with the nature, if Benton holds them here, I think Young will go for the field goal.
It's 3rd and goal to go. The ball at the Benton 2. Richardson, the long count. Right up the middle. Quarterback sneak, and he's in the end zone. 20-6, north side. And we said that next score, the first score of the third quarter, would be crucial. And Northside gets it with 5:40 to play in the third quarter. And Martin is in to attempt to try to make this a 15-point game. I'd be happy with overtime now.
The Benton offense will have to come to life.
David Martin to attempt the point after. Snap is down, the kick is up, and it's through. 21-6, Fort Smith Northside over Benton. Let's take a 1-minute timeout. Jamie Jones comes flying over the 20 to the 23-yard line, and that's where the Benton offense will take over. The situation, 5:41 to play in the third quarter, 21-6. The sad score on the scoreboard for Benton fans. Big crowd tonight. And the offense faced with a challenge. Benton wants to have a chance. The offense is going to have to react positively here, meaning points. Jumper options left side. Tommy turns it up. Good yardage. 30-yard line. 35. He could be gone. Midfield. 45. 40. Down to the 38. And there goes a flag. Face masking. Tack 15 more on. You need a big play. Tommy Jumper. So many times this year, a Grizzly is down. Oh, I've been telling people, press box, halftime, telling a lot of folks that Tommy Jumper is going to bust one tonight. 43 yards. They won't die. The Fighting Panthers come to life. And once again, it was that option with Jumper keeping, something Fort Smith Southside had success. And Steve Bell, perhaps Fort Smith Northside's best defensive player, was shaken up on the play. And here comes the big step off on the face mask.
Bell's limping. Looks like the 67's hurt over there on the sideline. Terry Willison, junior nose guard, too.
Now, we mentioned Benton's lack of speed. Tommy Jumper is quick, and he really bursted out of the pack. He almost outran the Northside secondary. Oh, they've come to life. 1st and 10 at the Northside 23. The crowd yelling, go, go, go. Jumper. Off a hit, wants to throw, fires. There's the catch by Shelnut for short yardage, a gain of 4. And Tommy Jumper took a hit in the backfield. It'll be 2nd down and 6 yards to go. Fine reception by Kirk Shelnut. His 4th catch of the season, but Kirk almost had to cradle the ball close to the ground and go to his knees for the reception.
He had 2 receivers in the area, Shelnut and Long, and it seems like they may be a little too close, and there's some indecision on which one to throw to.
Monty Cornwell goes wide to the left side. It's 2nd and 6. Benton at the Northside 17-yard line. Panthers trail by 15. We're in the third quarter. Jumper options. The pitch to McNeely, hit and out of bounds. A loss of maybe an inch or 2. It'll be 3rd down and 6 yards to go. And Robert McNeely shaken up on the play, still down on the ground. And Don Fulcher will come over to attend to Robert McNeely. And we'll take a quick 30-second timeout. Your score, 21-6, Northside. Third down, 6 yards to go. Jumper for Jake O'Heen, incomplete. Just off Jake's hands. Fine defensive play made by Kenneth West on the corner. We mentioned also shaken up along with Robert McNeely, who's still being attended to on the sideline. Dwight Everett, the center. In comes Bobby Van Cleve. No problems on that first snap. And it's a big 4th and 5 for Northside.
That was a big play because most time when you have a new center and new quarterback, they'll bobble a snap.
4th down, call it 6 yards to go for Benton. The Panthers deep in Northside territory at the Grizzly 19. Jumper options left side, turns it up and in. He's going to be close to a 1st down. It's going to be awfully close. It depends on where the officials spot the football.
Steve, I think it's going to be a 1st. I think he got a good spot.
Good extra effort. Bobby Van Cleve hurdles into the air. No official signal yet.
It was all Tommy Jumper because he had about 3 guys hit him and he kept going. Northside's defense is staying on the field too.
I wouldn't have guessed when Jumper turned it in that would be anywhere close to the first down. 160 pounds of fight. And he is a nose away from the football. He wants a look. This could be the ball game right here, this measurement. They stretch the chains out, and it is inches shy.
Oh, Lordy. It couldn't be any closer.
Inches shy. Instead of 1st and 10, Benton at the 13. It's 1st and 10, Northside at its own 13. Oh, does that hurt. 4:14 to play in the third quarter. Takes away a tremendous effort by Tommy Jumper.
But it changes field position. This game's still far from over.
1 turnover, and Benton's back in this. Richardson gives to Christenberry. Quick off the line. He's hit, and down he goes after a gain of 5. Christenberry hopped over the 15 to the 18-yard line. Kelsey Dedman had the hit, and David Christenberry slow to his feet. Be 2nd down and 5 for Northside. The ball at the Grizzly 18-yard line. 3:41 to play in the third quarter. Northside owns the football and a 15-point lead. Receivers go left and right, backs in an I. The give goes to Christenberry right side. Hit once, hit twice, 3 times after a gain of 2 or 3.
He's a good back, just keeps going, keeps going, does not stop.
Benton defense, Randy Russell, Scott Long, Kirk Shelnut, Bobby Van Cleve, fighting hard. And this is a big 3rd and 2. The Benton defense almost needs to play flawlessly the remainder of the football game and give the offense a chance to cut into that lead. 3rd down, 2 yards to go. Northside at the 22. Richardson turns, gives up the middle. Christenberry across the 25 for the first down. Like Larry Zonka with the Dolphins, David Christenberry with the Grizzlies. It's a high percentage play to give to the fullback, and you could bet that's what they'll be signaling in for the remainder of this ball game.
Northside will probably not do anything fancy. They just want to run the ball and run the clock.
The Benton offense, for 6 points, has moved the ball too well to only have 6 points. 1st and 10, Northside its own 25. Richardson will keep the football. Options near side. Scott Long with the hit. Here comes Bobby Van Cleve. Finish him off. A gain of just 2. And Richardson might have been better giving off that time because Scott Long tackled him high and actually created a standstill, and Bobby Van Cleve took the opportunity to introduce himself to Mr. Richardson. So it'll be 2nd down, 8 yards to go. And if you're a Benton follower, you're watching every play hoping for a fumble at this point. Christenberry and Steve Bell, the backs behind Jay Richardson. 2nd and 8. Richardson, quarterback sneak. He'll have the first down. Jason McGee with the hit, but not before Richardson gets to the 37 for a first down. Valuable seconds being worn off the clock. 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. 21-6 the score. The crowd here at C.W. Lewis Stadium almost silent at this point as Northside picks up valuable first downs. The pitch back to Steve Bell, running right side. Across the line of scrimmage for 2 or 3, Randy Russell with the solo tackle. It'll bring up a 2nd and 8. Northside, their backs do such a fine job of falling forward that even if they're hit at the line of scrimmage, they run with so much forward momentum that they
really
pick up 2 or 3.
They are rarely hit and knocked backwards. They'll get hit and they still seem to get another yard or 2 out of each hit, each play.
It's 2nd down, 7 yards to go. Northside at its own 42. Grizzlies just need to work a little clock. They're in control, leading by 15. Christenberry, there goes the football! Benton football!
Kelsey Dedman forced it.
Benton football! They won't die. Bobby Van Cleve. This defense is coming up with big plays. The offense, the jumper run. And Christenberry was stuck by Dedman. And yes, they come through. 1 minute to play. You can't count these guys out. Here we go again. Let's wind it up and take another shot. 1st and 10 at the 43. You give Tommy Jumper too many chances, he'll burn you. The senior quarterback is under center. 1st and 10, Benton, moving left to right. Jumper keeps, there he goes again. 1st down, Benton at the 31. And the Benton coaching staff asking rather aggressively for a face mask call.
He had a hold of either a face mask or a shoulder pad or something when he pulled Jumper down, you could tell.
41 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. And those never say die Panthers join hands in the huddle. Oh, this is a performance all of Benton can be proud of. This may be not the most talented Benton team of all time, but they've got a lot of fight. Jumper, hit, breaks away. Close to another 1st down, pick up a gain of 7. He was hit, almost stopped in the backfield, rolled inside the 25 to the 23. It'll bring up a 2nd and 3. Welcome to the Tommy Jumper Show. And yes, Dwight Everett is back in the ball game. This is it. For a lot of these guys that may not play major college football, Robert McNeely is back in the football game. This is their last hooray, and we're down to 1 quarter. Whatever you do, don't turn off the radio or switch channels. Your Benton Panthers are making a run. 21-6 Northside. Let's take a 30-second timeout. Back at C.W. Lewis Stadium, Tommy Jumper 99 yards on the evening. He'll trade if he could gain 1 more yard tonight and Benton could win 22-21, Jumper would be happy. 2nd and 3 as we start the 4th quarter. Benton at the north side 24. Option left. Jumper keeps. Jumper close to a 1st down. I think he has it at the 20. Move the sticks. Northside trying to claim fumble. I guess they're just celebrating because they stopped Jumper for a gain of 3. It's a 1st down Northside. The 1st down Benton at the 20. These kids refuse to give in.
They really are. They're, Coach Fight loves to call them the Fighting Panthers, and for those who have seen the team all season, they can understand why. They didn't quit when they'd lost 5 straight games, and they haven't quit being down by 2 touchdowns here.
1st and 10, Benton at the north side 20-yard line. Jumper in control. Options right. He'll keep it. Down he goes at the 17-yard line. Fine defensive play made on the inside by Tommy Mitchell, the defensive end. That's a play Northside was burnt on frequently against Southside. The quarterback delay off tackle, and that time it was only 3 yards. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. They mark it for a gain of 2 at the 18. I'm going to take a guess. We're shooting for the home run here. With 11 minutes to go, I got a feeling we're going for 6 points.
I think we may see the slant in to Cornwell, who's a little bigger target than Goheen.
Cornwell with Steve Bell, Northside's one of their best defensive players, straight in his face. Option, Tommy Jumper is hit, and down he goes.
Face mask.
No penalty flag yet. It looks like someone got Tommy by the face mask. No call.
The referee threw
a marker. Just a marker.
marker.
So it'll be 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Even Houdini, Jumper, didn't have a chance on that. Jason McGee in with the play. And the offense can ill afford to come up empty this time around. 15-point lead for Northside. 10:20 to play. Benton at the Grizzly 20. Jumper with McGee left, Scott Long tight end right. Option right, the pitch to McNeely. Roberts going to throw for Scott Long, overthrown and incomplete, no flag. And Northside had the play diagnosed. McNeely was 1 for 1 on the season, goes to 1 and 2. But Northside had the play, Red.
They really did.
And it brings up a 4th and 10 at the 20.
It would have taken a great catch by Scott anyway. The ball was thrown behind him.
And Dwight Fight reaches into his back pocket, the game plan. Sent Jake Goheen with that 11-yard play. On 4th and 10.
They may go for the full 20.
I'm going to wave my homer hanky here, and hopefully we'll have a first down here. I'm trying anything at this point. 4th down, 10 yards to go. Jumper on the reverse to Long. The ball's on the ground, and down goes Scott, throwing the ball incomplete. On his way down, Scott attempted the pass.
It was the end-around pass that we tried, I can't remember which game, earlier in the year on the last play. And the Jumper and Long ran into each other, and they fumbled the ball, and they just never executed the play very well.
Never got going. It's amazing Scott got the pass off. It actually saved Benton 8 yards in field position, but the clock down to 10 minutes to go. And you have to wonder how many more chances.
Twice Benton's been in prime scoring position and come up empty-handed. That's got to hurt.
The defense once again called upon to come up big. They give right up the middle to Christenberry. Kirk Shelnut meets him head on at the 24, and down he goes. The defense has done a fine job tonight. Perhaps 2 drives for really, they've given up 2 touchdowns tonight. The third one was a result of the fumble, but the one at the end of the first half, which was really a passing drive, and then on the opening drive of the game where Northside just manhandled them on the ground. But the defense here in the second half, when they've needed to, has really done their best.
They've given Benton a chance.
Yeah, 2nd down, 6 yards to go. The ball at the 24-yard line. The clock 9:30 to play. Time winding down in the 87 season. Christenberry, Randy Russell with the hit, but not before David Christenberry picks up the first down at the 30. David Christenberry. And they move the chains. Fort Smith Northside, a good bet to make it into the 3rd round of the playoffs. But never count these Panthers out. Still 9-14 to play. Grizzlies with the football. Benton could use another turnover. Grizzlies right up the middle to Christenberry. He's hit and dropped at the line of scrimmage. And he comes up kicking. He's frustrated. Greg Mundy with the hit. Mundy has had a good football game.
He was kicking at Scott Long, which he wouldn't be the one I'd be kicking at if I was going to kick at someone.
I don't think he was aiming for Scott, though. I think he was a little upset watching the way he went back at the huddle up, Greg Mundy. Like he'd been in my face too many times tonight. 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Judging from Christenberry's temper, right up the middle they go. Flags are down. Scott Long has Richardson on the quarterback sneak. And a disjointed attack. Players moving in all directions.
Motion.
They have to go against Northside. Now the official will go over and a one-on-one conference with the Northside coaches. And Joe Fred Young visibly upset across the way at his offense and execution. He's reading him the riot act over there, saying, how many times have I told you? Quickly down to Bob Edmondson. Why don't you try to juice up the sidelines down there, Robert?
Little noisy down here, Steve. I believe you called on me. Panthers with about 8:32 left in the ball game. Panthers need to make another turnover and get in for a touchdown real quick. Spirits are still up, so, you know, we never say die as a Panther until the final buzzer goes off.
3rd down, 8 yards to go. Give goes right up the middle and stopped shy of the first down. Kirk Shelnut with the stop. And that'll bring up a punting situation on the carry for Northside. Gerald Wells, his first carry of the football game. Kind of a surprise that Joe Fred would insert a back for the first time at this point of the ball game. Chris Carter, the sophomore, back at the 25. Benton with triple safeties. Monty Cornwell stands at the 40. And back deep, 2 Panthers at the 30. The snap to Carter, the kick, it's not long. Fair catch is called for. And Goheen tries to run with it, and it's going to be a penalty flag.
Stacy McGee called fair catch.
And Jake Goheen ran with it.
Of course, McGee was behind Goheen, so he didn't know he'd called it.
Have mercy. And this one will go against Benton as the official makes his way in front of the Benton crowd to pass along some bad news. And Northside is wanting the first down out of this.
I don't believe the play reads like that. I think it's more or less called a dead ball foul.
Yeah.
because the fair catch would make the play be dead.
They wanted the ball. They're not going to get it. And a big penalty step off. Only 5 yards. Back to the 28. This point in the ball game. 7:40 to play. I'm the extreme optimist. We've got to score here.
Hey, there's still plenty of time.
I can see Jumper going 72 yards. 7:40 to go, 21-6. The visitors from Fort Smith on top. And now the official comes waving, waving. They want to talk it over again. Let them play. Let's get this thing going. We're due for another big play. Benton is. 7:40 to play in the ball game. A delay on the field. And the officials were second-guessing themselves on how well they stepped off the 5-yard penalty. Still having problems.
I don't think Northside was real pleased with the spot that they got.
No. Here's the call. It's
okay. It's going to be a dead ball foul and make it 1st and 15.
They straighten out the chain gang.
That's kind of a home field advantage you got over there.
Jason McGee comes in with the play. 7:40 to play. The Fighting Panthers trailing 21-6. One score would make this thing interesting. Jason McGee wide to the near side. One more time. Tommy Jumper gets under center. Backs in the bone. Jumper play action. He's got time. He's looking for McGee deep. It's Scott Long with the catch. 35, 30, 25, 20. He's down at the 15. It almost looked like, I called it, Jumper looking for McGee. He looped it short for Scott Long, and the man came through. Hobbling and all, he still said no to a Fort Smith Northside Grizzly. And yes, it's appropriate when Benton is on the ropes for that combination, Jumper to Long, to come through one more time.
56-yard gain.
They won't give up. Boy, proud of these guys. 1st and 10 at the 16. That 5-yard penalty didn't mean a thing. Wide receiver right side. Jumper, options left side. Cuts it inside, and down he goes. No face mask call, and the Benton coaches can't believe it. It looked obvious from up here. And Dwight Fight makes his way onto the field. The official says, get off the field. I can't believe it. Draws boos from the crowd.
Of course, a lot of times those officials don't have these good angles we have up here in the press box.
2nd down, 8 yards to go at the 13. Benton refuses to throw in the towel. Jake Goheen is wide to the left. Randy Russell is in at tight end right side. Jumper gives to Greg Holmes. He's inside the 10-yard line to the 7. And close to a 1st down. He's going to be maybe a yard shy.
Steve, Benton did exactly what it needed to do. They needed to cover a lot of ground in a hurry. And the first play, they come out with the big 56-yard gain from Jumper to Long. If they get the score here, they're in great shape. Well, they're in decent shape for a comeback because there's still plenty of time left.
It was almost deceiving on that play. Jason McGee had a step on his man. And Scott Long was underneath with a step on his man. And it may have been a case of Jumper thinking, boy, Scott has bailed me out on an occasion this year. And I know if I get it to the big guy, there's a chance. And a healthy Scott Long, and the foot race is over.
You're right about that. Scott's, he's not going to win any gold medals in the Olympics, but he has good speed when he's healthy, and he can run very well.
3rd down, 2 yards to go. The ball at the north side 7. The terrible thing about this ball game, if Benton runs out of time, is you're going to drive home, or if you're at home, thinking we had so many chances. What about that measurement?
Yes.
When Benton came up inches shy, deep in north side territory.
And you'll always remember the fumble on the 6-yard line, and then the play where we had them for a 5-yard loss. And
I'm not sure Benton's not the better football team. You know, tonight it hasn't gone their way. But the offense really hasn't had that many problems with the north side defense. Here we go. 3rd and a yard and a half. The ball at the north side 7. Tommy Jumper, a look at Jason McGee. Backs in the bone. Gives to Greg Holmes. First down as he punches it to the 5. To the 4-yard line, they'll mark it. Let's give the offensive line credit. Let's give Greg Holmes credit. The Benton offense is still breathing.
Holmes now has 8 carries, 36 yards.
Monty Cornwell in with the play from Tommy Jumper. Well, Benton has set the north side up. It's time to throw the right cross and send it in for 6, and let's get this 2-point conversion onto. Here we go. 1st and goal. The ball at the 4. Jumper, options left, turns it up, breaks the tackle, reaches in for 6.
Steve, they got the touchdown in 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
Vintage Tommy Jumper. It was 1-on-1, and I was thinking almost calling touchdown before he got in, because 1-on-1, Tommy Jumper's a safe bet.
Big 2-point conversion try here.
This is almost the game. It's a 9-point ball game. If Benton doesn't get in here, they'll need 2 scores, which would almost be impossible. Jumper out for the 2-point conversion, under center, turns, options, wants to throw, turns it up, dives, reaches, he's in, he did it again! What a play by Tommy Jumper. It's a 7-point ball game, 5:30 to play. Stick around, we've got a football game. We'll take a 1-minute break. Bobby Edmondson, has the atmosphere changed on the sideline?
Steve, it's like night and day. Boy, the Panthers are pumped up, and they are ready to go. And if this sideline's any indication, north side ought to look out, Steve.
5:30 to go in the game. Heath Nick's kick is into the air. 5, 10, back across the 30-yard line. And down goes the return man, and now they'll spot it at the 26. 26-yard line. Craig Lincoln down for the tackle. 5:34 to play.
Steve, I just got a final score over in Pine Bluff. Would you believe the Pine Bluff Zebras? 7-6 winners over Springdale.
Oh, we'll have a short trip next week. 21-14. The crowd, you might hear them. They're yelling defense, defense, defense. 1st and 10 north side at zone 26. Richardson on the keeper. He's hit, and down he goes at the 29. Kirk Shelnut and Randy Russell combined for the hit. And during the timeout, I was watching the players on the sidelines. They almost had to hold Randy Russell down. That's how bad. He's not on the kickoff team. He wanted to get back in that ball game.
He really did. And I know he feels a lot better since we made up for that missed extra point now.
Randy Russell, both hands up in the air, urging the crowd on. Kelsey Denton, Greg Mundy. They don't want the season to end tonight. 4:40 to play. It's 2nd and 7. Oh, C.W. Lewis will be shaking in a few minutes. Christenberry gets the call, and down he goes. A gain of 2. Craig Lincoln and Bobby Van Cleve. Kelsey Dedman. It's 3rd and 5. 4:20 to play in the game. The defense holds here. The offense will get a shot to tie this up. Oh, in my 7 years of calling ball games, never had more fun than I've had this year. Thanks to these Panthers and their great fans. Here we go. 3rd down, 5 yards to go. North side, left to right on its 26. Richardson to throw the football. Looking, he's gonna run. He's close to a 1st down, and he has it. Across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Big run by Jay Richardson. Roger Barker with the hit. So Northside picks up the 1st down. Big effort by quarterback Jay Richardson.
He really did, and he looked to throw the ball, and he didn't want to risk the pass, and he had a little running room and barely got the 1st down.
The clock, 3:50 to play. Benton trails by 7, 21-14. David Christenberry comes off the field. And into the game at fullback, is Gerald Wells. 1st and 10 north side at its own 37. Wells gets the call, breaks across the 40, 45-yard line, has another first down at midfield. Big run by Gerald Wells. And Kelsey Dedman, shaken up on the play, will come out of the football game. And what a game Kelsey Dedman has played. And Kelsey is in pain as he comes off the field.
Really is.
Looks to be an
elbow, I think.
Hurt his elbow on the play and be attended to by Dan Cathy. And it's just amazing the way this Benton team has performed with the injuries they suffered this season. Scott Long isn't 100%. Randy Russell isn't 100%, yet they're both on the field. 1st and 10 north side at its own 49-yard line. Christenberry into Benton territory and close to another first down. They'll mark him a yard shy of the first down at the Benton 42. And now the defense might be showing a little of the wear and tear and fatigue. They've been on the field a lot in the second half.
They really have. They played a lot this game. And this is a Northside's kind of game. Just line up and say, here, you know what we're going to do, so see if you can stop us.
Field goal would ice it. And they have a very fine kicker, Fort Smith Northside does.
What Benton really needs, Steve, is a turnover, so jinx them again.
Yeah, they haven't turned it over much this ball game. It worked earlier. 2nd down, 1 yard to go. Christenberry gets the call, another first down. Across the 40 to the Benton 39. Greg Mundy, the bottom of that pile, along with Randy Russell and Heath Nix. So it's 1st and 10 north side at the Benton 39. The clock winding down to 2:40 to play in the game. And you have the feeling if the offense can get back on the field with any time, they can win this or send this thing into overtime. 1st and 10 north side at the Benton 39-yard line. Richardson gives to Christenberry. He slips and falls at the 35. They're going to spot his knee down at the 36, a gain of 3. Christenberry a little upset with himself as he slipped. And
one thing Benton might need to think about doing is start using some timeouts defensively to save time.
The clock down to 2:05 to play in the game. Will Connell comes into the ball game. Out goes Shane Smith. 2nd down, 7 yards to go. The ball at the Benton 36-yard line. Panthers 6-man front. Richardson, quarterback sneak, big hit. Just a gain of 1, maybe 2. Randy Russell, Heath Nix.
Heath Nix really got in there. I saw the quarterback hit the center on the tail end there to signal the sneak play, and Nix knifed in and made a good play there. Short game, big play here.
Benton with the gap, the 6-man front has a gap with the tackles, leaving the center open, but the tackles really reacted. Nix did. It may be open, but they're aware of what's going on. Big 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4. Northside, you know, they'll use 2 downs to try to get this first down.
The ball at the 34-yard line of Benton. Richardson, long count, gives left side. No, he keeps it. And he's going to be close to a first down, stop shy at the 31. And timeout, immediately signaled by Benton. I hate when the back fakes out the radio announcer, but on that occasion, I was happy. Because I believe David Christenberry would have had the first down.
He had a lot of running room inside.
It's 4th and 2. Let's take a quick 30-second break.
Long too, Steve.
Let's take a quick 30-second break with the score. Northside 21, Benton 14. In time for Joe Fred Young. And he sent his quarterback back onto the field, and all indications are that Northside will go for a 4th and 2 with an even minute to go in the ball game at the Benton 32. This is the season.
That's right, this play. If Northside survives this first down try, they can run the clock out.
4th and 2 at the 32. One more time, defense, one more time. 6-man front. Shelnut, Van Cleve, fill the gaps. Here they come. The pitch to Bell. He's got running room. He'll have the first down. He could go all the way. He will. Touchdown, Northside. Benton rolled the dice. They had to take chances.
Good call. Good call. Young felt that Benton would try to stop the inside play. So they pitched to the tailback and let him sweep outside. They had the numbers, and he made a couple guys miss him, and he was in the end zone.
Craig Lincoln had a shot to stop him, but even if Lincoln stops him, it's first down north side and deep in the territory with time remaining.
Of course, this could be the best thing if we can run the kickoff back to an onside kick. We've still got a shocking finish for all these people who are starting to file out of here.
Martin to attempt the point after. Richardson with the hold. Snap is back. Ball is down. The kick is no good. Now he does it. 27-14. Let's take a 1-minute break with 52 seconds left to play. Back at C.W. Lewis Stadium, short kick returned up close to midfield. They're going to spot the ball across midfield. And returning the kick for Benton, Michael Massinelli. Name you'll probably hear about, only a junior.
Steve, that's a strange play there. Benton's got the ball in great field position with 48 seconds left. If they can get the quick, if they can hit a bomb, they can come back, try an onside kick. That's something that could come back and haunt you.
Never over with those Benton Panthers. Man, 46 seconds. Now the clock rolling down. There's running as Benton gets off the play. Jumper back to throw. Here comes the pressure. Tommy rolls. Still rolling. He'll run the football for short yardage. Down he goes at the north side 47. Clock is stopped with 26 or 8 seconds
28.
to play. 28 seconds to play. Oh, man. Hate to see the season end. It's been a really exciting season and one the kids can really be proud of.
It's been a bizarre one, you know. Started out great guns and had a lot of momentum early, and then we went through one of the worst spells in recent Benton history, at least under Coach Fight, where they lost 5 straight. And they rallied strong here late in the season, and the big win over Central is something that the town will talk about forever and ever and ever.
Scott Long, how about one more miracle? Jumper to Long. Long wide to the right side. Jumper back to throw. Looking deep, firing deep for McNeely, incomplete. Robert was out there, just overthrown. And the clock is 20 seconds, even. Third down, 8 yards to go. North side leading 27-14. And Benton with nothing to be ashamed of. Played a good football game tonight.
Really have.
You know, never gave up the fight. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him poke it in one more time. Third down, 8 yards to go. More importantly, 20 seconds to play. Benton 48 yards away from a score. Jumper slips, still going, and down he goes back at the 40. And the clock is down to 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Timeout call. One more play with 5 seconds left. And this will be the last play of the season.
Steve, we might ought to add this in when you mentioned that Kelsey Dedman was hurt a little moment ago on that last series. The big junior defensive tackle looks like he has his arm in the cast, and I thought I read his lips as saying he has broken his arm. So that's another tough loss right there.
Well,
Kelsey played a great ball game. As a matter of fact, I would say he's probably the top candidate for player of the game.
And this Benton team has been snake bitten by injuries this season. So many players hobbling. Still gave a tremendous effort tonight. And Northside didn't end this game until a few minutes ago. It would win the books the 27-14 game, barring any last-second miracle. But
and you look at the 2 wasted opportunities inside the 20, and then the fumble on the 6-yard line, and those things, they just...
You go back to the touchdown at the end of the first half. I'll be really interested to see the final numbers come out on offensive numbers. Now 2 receivers come wide to the left side, McNeely and Scott Long. Tommy back to pass. Here comes the pressure. He's on the run. I mean, there's Grizzlies all over him. Finally, he goes down. There goes the football, and the game is over. Well, the season's over. The Fighting Panthers go down. Your final score, 27-14, Fort Smith Northside. Let's take a 2-minute timeout. Be back to wrap it up.